Now just think if you walked into your banker someday and said, hey, you know, I got a great idea, and if you have about 3, 4, 5 minutes maybe, let me explain it to you. And you sit there and explain it to him, and then he says, how much do you want? And you say, well, I need about $15,000 to make this idea happen. And he says, no, you're not. We'll give you $300,000. This is a great idea. Sure, that's a dream and you wake up and it's never going to happen, right? But it does happen on the internet. It does. There's these group of people, actually, they're from Slovenia. That's right, Eastern Europe. They go on the internet and they raise all this money, you know, from a crowdfunding site right here in the States, you know, so they're using it here. You know, so why aren't we using this here to make $300,000 or ask for 15 and give you $300,000? Who else is going to do that for you? And what does it take? About 15 minutes of information on the website to do that. I mean, it's incredible. Sure, they put in a lot of work and thinking through the idea, but, you know, it's not dollars you're putting out. You know, it's time and thoughtfulness and things like that. You know, anything like that has to happen for any good idea. You know, so that's what I mean. Learn from these people who did this. Watch this interview. I mean, this is important stuff that's going on in our lives, and we have to grow as an economy, as a country, as a society, or whatever, as a world, and it's only through new ideas. You know, that's what creates new stuff and new economic development. And now we have an easy and cheap way to get those ideas out to the public and get the money from the public too. So that all these gatekeepers are down. We're shortening the cycle. We're making it easier for everyone. So everyone around the world can participate. So you here in the United States, wherever you watch this, you better participate too, because it's going down, whether you like it or not. So it's just, we can understand anything. We just take some time to understand it. We all have enough, well, 99% of us to me have enough, you know, moxie to figure out anything. It's just taking the time to figure it out. So watch this. It'll help inspire you to figure it out. Well, gosh, Dom Ploskin, right? And you're one of the inventors of the Chipolo, the wonderful little finder tool from Slovenia. So there's 7 of you guys involved in this, right? And you just got on Kickstarter, and you're making money hand over fist. You got $90,000 already. How much is that in Slovenia?
Actually, it's the same.
Oh, really?
We don't have dollars, but we have euros, so it's a little bit less.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. So,
It's quite a big amount of money. So
yeah, but I mean, but you only expected like 15,000, and you have 90,000 already. So you got a product that's so hot, and it'll find. I mean, what I think is great, that you could have 9 objects that your phone will find for you anywhere in the world if you lose them, right? So if you have girlfriends all over the world, you go see what, oh, where was she the last time I saw her? Your phone will find her for you.
it was not our intention. You know? We wanted to help you find keys and wallets.
I think keys and wallets, not girlfriends or children. Or
Just get a girlfriend just because you have the Chipolo with you. So.
But you can't put it on your dog, right? The little thing. Yeah. So anything.
And when your dog would get out of your sight, your phone would remind you, look, you have to be careful.
I see.
Dogs stop to run, so just be careful.
Well, I mean, but you guys have been thinking about this project for a long time, haven't you? Working on the technology involved. It's quite involved. It sounds simple. And what amazes me, it's only $20 on Kickstarter.
Yes, it's a bargain.
Yeah. And once you get it out on the market, it'll be like $30, $35 or something like that. You know, that's what's so neat. So you can get it. And when do you think you'll be delivering?
Yes, our first shipment should be out in December. We promised all the Kickstarter.
So you're working your butt off now. Where are you manufacturing?
Yeah, the holiday season is our first goal.
Ah.
So to satisfy our backers from Kickstarter and send the first 500 pieces out in December. So.
Oh, really? Oh, that's terrific. So now, what is it? Why? How did you? I mean, you got a lot of talent. You know, reading the background of everybody there that is involved. There's 70 people, and there's all kind of talent. So how did you come across this idea, or why?
You know, Slovenia is very small. If you don't know, we have just 2 million people, and everybody knows each other. So it was quite easy, you know.
I see. So why do you need this in Slovenia? You don't need it. You never lose anything.
Maybe not. Maybe I lose a lot of things.
I see.
The worst case here. So I lose car keys all the time, you know.
Ah.
This moment, I don't know where they are. So maybe I'll use my Chipolo.
I say, well, now you certainly will. But was that the? What was where did the idea come from? Why this? And it's a beautiful little toy. It looks like a little toy or a wafer or something you get at communion in church, you know.
Maybe that's where we got the design from. You know?
I see.
No, it was like this. Last year when we started thinking about a key finder, you know, we went across different types of casings and different types of designs, and one of our team members said, look, it should be very simple and seamless, and we all agreed on this design, and it was a success.
Right. Well, no, it's very elegant. I mean, and simple and beautiful and fun looking. I mean, you want to have one. You don't even know what the hell it does, maybe, but you want one. It looks like you can eat them if you want. They look delicious.
That was our intention.
Right. I don't know what they are, but I want a whole bunch of these things. And so one you just hook on, or you could put I could put one in my little wallet here, right? And if I leave it somewhere at lunch, this thing's gonna sound, and hey, you stupid, Slovak, go back and get your wallet.
But that's probably the best feature, you know. When you're somewhere drinking coffee or something, you know, you forget your wallet maybe or something, and immediately when you step out of the bar.
Well, actually, to me, it's power cords. I go to coffee shops and work on my computer, and power cords. I lose power cords. I forget my power. Yeah. So, I mean, they're not that expensive, but it's still, you got $50 for another power cord, and the process of going and getting one, and oh gosh, yeah. I mean, there's so many things like that. I could think of.
Could put basically on everything, you know. So even your power cord, you know, if you lose your power cord or if you forget it, it's as simple as putting on a sticker.
But I mean, also important about this is that it's hooked up to the GPS. So if I'm in New York today and I leave my power cord in New York, I get on the train, come back to Washington, no power cord. Where the hell did I leave it? I was, and then I look on my phone and it shows me the last city I was in with my power cord, right?
Yes. Yes, it shows your last saved location. So the location where you last saw or where you last were with your power cord.
Wow. I mean, that's genius to me, because usually it just shows I don't have it. Well, I know that. but when I last had it is what I want to know. That's terrific. Where I lose that, and my glasses sometimes. I don't know how I put one on, but boy, there's so many things, and like that. We all have. Maybe in America we have so much junk we have, and toys we don't want to lose, but important things like you say, a set of keys. Or your wallet, or your little. Now we have notebooks and laptops and all this kind of stuff. The phone itself, and I may have two phones on me. One for business, one for something else, and that even gets more complicated if you got two phones because I have my phone. I don't have the other one. And you forget. Yeah. So you're going to really be a kick finder for the world, right? What do you mean maybe? You already have. You sold 2,000 of these things already. Yeah.
We'll be good role models, you know, for
Right.
Slovenian small companies and startups that would like to develop something and just don't have the money to do it. So,
Right. Oh, that's
I
wonderful.
feel so quite well with this.
Well, you guys are great, and so to get in on the Kickstarter, while that's still along, you actually anytime you can go to your website. It's chipolo.net, right? Chipolo.net, and while the Kickstarter's on, it's good there because you get it almost like 40% off or whatever. So it's a great way to do it. If it's after Kickstarter, just get a bunch and have them around anyway. You gotta have it, and you guys are just delightful. I think it's so neat that you in Slovenia are showing us how to be entrepreneurs with no money because you're going on Kickstarter and getting the money, and you're using our tools to be an entrepreneur over in Slovenia. Good for you.
Oh, the Kickstarter now became a global tool. You know?
Yes.
So, the Kickstarter helps everybody.
Yes.
And, I think it's the best tool available right now for small companies and startups.
I believe too, man. Yeah. And even if you don't make it, what the heck? You know, so you invest in a video and that's it, right?
And you try it, you know.
Yeah. And you'll learn. You'll learn why it was a stupid idea, but you got a hot idea $2,000 and $90,000 later. So you proved it. You're proving it to us and the rest of the world. And you're a delight, Dom. Thank you for being there and educating us about what we... What?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Okay, I'll see you when I get back to Slovenia, whenever that will be. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See, now they're cool guys, aren't they, doing this stuff? That's it. They don't have a whole lot of money or anything. They just have an idea and the desire. That's what we all need. We need more ideas and more desire. So if you fail, who cares? Nobody really cares. Everyone is so involved in their own life. They really don't care what happens to you. And we think everybody is going to talk about us if we fail. Now, yeah, we're all involved in our own life. So you get out there and get as much out of this life as you can. Well, you're not going to believe what's going on in the world nowadays. If you're a coffee lover like I am, you know how they make coffee. There's some guy somewhere across the world who grows the beans. The beans are bought by some company. They come to the United States, and there's some big roaster who roasts these beans, and the beans go on the shelf somewhere in the store, and then you buy the beans from the store. You bring them home, and you put them in your kitchen, and maybe you grind them up, or you have the store grind them. And then you make your coffee, Well, now this guy, and he's from Germany, really cool. But he invented a desktop machine that you put, in your kitchen, like right here, that will take a raw coffee bean right off the farm, and you put it in this machine. The first thing it does is roast the bean. That's right. It has this little roaster, and it spends time roasting the bean. And when it's finished roasting the bean, then it grinds the bean all up. It's a grinder. And then the water is added, and it makes your coffee all at the same time. One machine from the from the farm to your kitchen, and you got the freshest cup of coffee in the world. Plus, it's cheaper. The farmer's making a lot more money because they make hardly anything on the current system, because all these middlemen with their hands involved. So you could buy beans right from, actually on the web now, you'll be able to buy the beans right from some farmer in Brazil or wherever, Guatemala, and get them shipped to you. They're making a lot more money. You're doing something for the underprivileged in those countries instead of paying all these middlemen here for the coffee, and you're getting a hell of a lot better coffee. This is neat. But more importantly about this guy, he had this idea, because actually he's from Germany and they tax coffee beans, not the raw beans, but the roasted beans. So he was trying to figure out how to get around that. It's one of his motives for inventing this machine. And then he went on to the website. He went on the web to get money to start manufacturing because he said everybody should have one of these. So he put it up on Kickstarter, a crowdfunding site. 24 hours. He made his goal. He was looking for $130,000 so he could make these machines, and have them manufactured and everything. He made $130,000 in 12 hours. In a full day, it was double that. And within 20 days, he had like $360,000. Yep. And he was only after 130. See, there's nowhere else that I think you can go and have a goal even, to all the money you need, and they give you more than you need. So you you don't need that. You're wrong. You need more. And they keep throwing more money. And that's what's neat about going on the web and financing things, because people send you more money than you asked for. So watch this video. Steer, man. All I know is that in the United States, you got 20,000 coffee shops that are gonna hate you.
That's for sure.
And that's incredible. I mean, you got just won the world's record for the fastest brewed coffee, right? So this is a machine that you invented where you roast your coffee, grind your coffee, make the best coffee of the world right in your kitchen.
Right, so absolutely. You roast, grind, brew, all at the single push of a button.
Bobby, are you just basically lazy, or why'd you come up with this? You wanted us all one.
You really want to know where that comes from?
Yeah.
There are 2 points to it. One is that the coffee is much fresher. Obviously, it's the freshest coffee in the world. We even got the Guinness World Record for it. The second thing is that it's not only the freshest coffee that doesn't give you any stomach hurt because it's so mildly fresh. But it's also, if you want much fairer coffee and a cheaper coffee at the same time. So you really make a bargain and still pay more money to the farmer where, the value derives from.
So, I mean, you're right. I mean, what it seems amazing. So the farmer now, we could buy beans right from the farmer, not these 1,500 middlemen and roasters and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
And the farmer's getting nothing. And now we're getting the beans, doing it all ourselves, and the farmer can make more money. So you're going to develop this whole world a lot faster, aren't you?
Absolutely. We really want to change the industry. So what we're doing is we're setting up a platform, a marketplace for farmers, some kind of an Amazon for green beans or a Facebook for farmers. And we even got the domain for that, and the Facebook is suing us for
now you know you're doing something right.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're setting up that platform where farmers become faces, because consumers can first time in the world in the history of coffee buy their coffee from the farmers. It's like wine. I mean, you're sitting in that restaurant with your girlfriend and you're going all pretentious about the wine, the Bordeaux and the Sauvignon Blanc and the things around it. And then you call up the vineyard and you decide for the next order what you want to place around the great wine you really like. Well, you don't do that for coffee. You just walk into a coffee shop and say, I want to have a latte, I want to have a coffee, whatever. Because nobody's offering you the face behind coffee. And that's not right. We should change this, because the farmers really make a difference.
Right. And that's it. And that's right. To me, what you're doing is honoring the source. Not all the middlemen, have their hands in the pie. The real source of this, and the source of the flavor, the enjoyment of having coffee. And I didn't realize that by starting with green beans, you get rid of a lot of the acidity that happens.
Yes, absolutely. The fact actually is, when you're looking at pre-roasted coffee, the way we drink it nowadays all the time, I'm not saying it's bad to have pre-roasted coffee. It's totally fine. The thing is, when you buy standard coffee in the supermarket, the ones where you think you're really saving money on it, well, it's been sitting there for months, if not years. It's been roasted 6 or 7 or 8 months before you even buy it supermarket counter, and then they tell you to consume it in 6 weeks.
Oh, that's right. That's so you can buy more. That's
true.
But also, I mean, you've been incredibly successful for raising money on the internet for this. I mean, you went on Kickstarter hoping to get like 130,000, right? And what, you made 130,000 in 12 hours?
That was incredible. Seriously, honestly, that was really heavy. I mean, we started off with a Kickstarter campaign, and we prepared so many marketing campaigns and emails and, call friends. We even arranged for friends to call other friends and those friends to call further friends and stuff like that. In the end, we didn't even get to kick that off, because we hit the green button and got our project live on Kickstarter. It was sold out. The first 12 hours, I was looking at this and just couldn't believe what was going on.
Well, you even got on a plane and left town.
Oh, yeah.
But you're up to $360,000. I mean, you could do $500,000 before this thing is over, right?
Well, I'm not saying what we're really aiming at, because we've been aiming at the 135, and now that it's more, we're really, really happy, because we're going to spend that money to enhance the machine,
right,
to make it work properly and do all the testing needed, and to set up a decent platform for the farmers, and list a lot of farmers that we really want to sell their coffee to the people. But again, I mean, we're building a machine, and people tend to forget that building a machine carries a lot of risks and a lot of challenges. And to tackle those challenges and risks, we really need the people behind us to tell not only us, but also all the partners, all our suppliers, all our, the people that we're working with, that there is a demand for that kind of machine in the market.
Wow.
And who else could tell those partners and suppliers that there's a demand if it's not the consumer?
Well, honestly, you have a couple, when we're taping this, you have almost 3 more weeks left on Kickstarter, so people can really get this at a hell of a bargain price, because it's going to be in stores in a few months at a heck of a lot higher price, maybe even 50% more than what it is now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, seriously, when we bring that to the market and have to pay all the retails in the middle, and have to set up online sales and whatever, we surely will have to raise the price also, because at the moment we're selling to very, very early innovators out there. All the people on Kickstarter that are really geeky and tacky about coffee and machines and the concept and the fair trade and stuff. So we have to give them a special price, and later on we will have to sell it for the real price that it actually costs.
Yeah, but I mean, Kickstarter doesn't require an ID card. Anybody can go on Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, that's true.
and get this now. But that's a trouble. You got over 1,000 machines or whatever backers on this already. $3,600 to launch your business. You obviously spent a lot of time trying to figure this out in the last year or two, but now to make this thing and to make it reality, to bring it to stores, to bring it to the rest of us, so I on my kitchen table could have beans, right from the farmer, and start roasting and having a cup of coffee in the morning, right from the farm.
Sure, that's what we're looking at. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? You can even save tax on that.
Save tax? Why?
Well, when you're looking at the coffee prices, I mean, from every dollar spent on coffee by a consumer, there's how much do you think ends up at the farmer? It's like 5, 6, 7 cents. So that's not a lot. So we're going to give a lot more to the farmer by the dollar, but we're also cutting out every intermediate. So there's not only all the intermediate cut out, so that we don't have to pay their taxes and to pay their their margin and everything. There's also a couple of countries in the world, and there's actually 5 countries in the world that have a special coffee tax, which does not apply to green coffee. And this is kind of the thing where we're coming from in Germany. I mean, in Germany, it's a coffee tax that's almost 30%. It's €2.19 per kilogram.
Really?
That's a lot of money on roasted coffee.
Wow.
Now, guess what? When you buy our green coffee, there's no tax.
Wow, I had no idea. So we would just have normal sales tax. So you're selling in countries like Germany, you have a 30% tax on roasted beans. Wow, that's enough.
It is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, no wonder you got motivated to do this.
Kind of my background as well. I did tax law before, so.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Hans, this is a wonderful idea. You're a smart guy to put this all together and to make it happen and to be so successful in so short a time, particularly on the internet. And good luck to you. And you're going to be in all our kitchens like I am now. I'll have one of your coffee pots in our kitchen soon, and Starbucks is going to hate you, but what the heck?
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm sure they will too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, I don't know about you, boy, I'd love to get one of those machines, see how wonderful a fresh bean roasted at home to make your own coffee. Isn't that neat? See, only on the web and the technology is sort of, scrunching the whole distribution system. We don't need all those middlemen because technology is cutting them out and giving more to the people who really making it. Like the farmer who grows the beans, he'll be getting more. Well, be sure to watch this video because you're going to see one of the coolest speakers in the world. It's a speaker for your iPhone or anything else. And it's wonderful. Man, you see the design and the elegant design of this product. These are a bunch of designers, over in Europe, in Denmark actually, that put this thing together. And it's now, they're selling it on Kickstarter for like half the price to raise money to go in production. See, they know, and this is what you learn from these people, they know that even no matter how good they are, bank's not going to give them money, right? And they don't want to go to an investor or somebody like that to give money because they want to take most of the business. So they now learn how to go on the internet and get like $100,000 so they can take this great idea of theirs and get it produced and to get it out to the public. But what they're doing is they give a bargain to you to help them fund this production, so they're going out to the crowd. This is why they call it crowdfunding. The crowd is giving them money so they could start their business going. See, all they have is the idea. They developed this one idea, and now they don't have all this money they needed to get in production, So they're going out in the crowd to get production. See, this is how you do things nowadays in this world, And they're doing this, and they're getting $100,000 to do this. But you got to see this speaker. I mean, these guys are geniuses over there. And the design, I mean, we got to catch up to the rest of the world on being better designers in this country, because they're going to pass us by. But the internet makes everything so close, it doesn't matter, and they ship it here for you. So don't worry about that thing. So 2 things from this video. Learn how cool this thing is, and if you want one, don't forget, it's about half price now. When it goes on the market, it's going to be almost double the price. So now this is a great time to get something that's really cool, unique, nobody else has it, and an incredible discount. But more importantly, see how they did it. See how they got the money to do what they really want to do in life without having to go to traditional sources. That's another thing that's happening in this country, or the world, tell you the truth. And that's why we all have to start learning this, because this is the way we're going to grow. This is the way we're going to be innovative. This is the way we're going to create new jobs in this country and grow and not be number 6 in the world now of innovation. We got to get up there to number 1 again. Well, Jacob Norman, and you're one of the inventors of the DB60, right? And this is going to be a speaker that's going to rock the United States. You're going to really show us what, Danish design is all about, aren't you?
Absolutely. Hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
What we have here is the DB60,
wow,
which is a wall-mounted and mains-powered Bluetooth speaker. So it both packs a visual and an audio punch, I tell you. And it has this, beautiful wing on the side, so that you can leave your phone there, you can charge it, or you can leave it there for convenience, and you can even leave your keys in your wallet there. So.
Wow. So this is basically a speaker for iPhones, or I guess anything else, right?
Any smartphone, or actually even any laptop computer.
But besides being beautifully designed, I mean, it's a hell of a speaker, right?
It is. It really packs a massive punch.
Yeah.
We've opted for a mono speaker and a large cabinet, so you can really pump out some heavy bass. And we've got this little thing in the bottom called a vent, so that you can really move some air. And what the vent does is that it improves the depth of the bass, so it really packs a punch instead of just going, it goes.
But you guys are not just inventors, man. You're in the speaker business for a long time. You've been helping big companies with speakers for a long time.
Absolutely. We've been designing speakers for 14, 15 years now, and we've worked with a lot of great and very interesting companies all over the world, actually. But we wanted to do something.
Yeah. They never asked you for this, did they?
They never asked us for this.
Yeah.
Or even if we had presented this to them, they would have been running.
Well, I guess they're not hip young people, that's all. But this is what you can put it on the wall. I guess it could be on a desk or anywhere. And that little wing, man, that makes it to me, at least visually. I mean, you're just not sure what it is at first, and then, oh yeah, I can just put the thing there, and you'll never forget your phone again, will you?
Exactly, and Of course, we have included a USB port here under the wing.
Ah,
so
I
charge
see.
it at the same time, so you never run out of battery.
Oh, wait a minute. So I could put my phone there and use it to play music out of your speaker and charge my phone?
Exactly.
Wow. Oh, well, that's a that's a twofer. That's a real killer there. Oh, so every time I come home, I usually put it on the counter or something. But now, hey, I want to listen to that music and charge my phone. Oh, that's incredible. Well, why did it come up? I mean, why did this come up? Why don't we make our own speaker and put on a play? Huh?
Actually, it all started with an old wall-mounted CD player, and it's like very, very convenient and really, really simple to use. The only problem, of course, is that nobody has any CDs anymore. I mean, I've even gone and sold mine, and I know a lot of people have their CDs somewhere in the basement, and they have the entire music collection on iTunes, or they use Spotify, or they use...
I see, right.
So we kind of wanted to update that simplicity, that easy-to-use speaker, but for the 21st century, where everybody has smartphones or laptops or music players that somehow connect. And we started out by giving ourselves a few limitations. It needed to be simple, it needed to look damn good, and it needed to punch out a lot of great sound. So that was basically the limitations from the get-go.
Well, it looks beautiful, man. I mean, and that's and also, I mean, you've been working on this for a while. I mean, this is something you do in 20 seconds or something. I mean, you went through a lot of reiterations in your design and all that, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, we've spent 10 months doing this,
Wow.
and of course have been researching the market. And a lot of Bluetooth speakers out there on the market are little mobile units that run batteries. And of course, the problem is that you run out of battery, and the problem is that the batteries don't pack enough power, so the sound isn't really that good. And I'm the type of person, I don't take my speakers to the beach. I don't throw my speakers off a rooftop. And I certainly don't want a speaker that's pink and yellow. So, but what I do want is a speaker that sounds great and looks great and is easy to use. So this is kind of.
So after you put in the design, now you have to go make the sucker, right? And
so what do you do when you're a small design business who can't afford to go out and invest in all the tooling? You of course turn to Kickstarter, which is at the moment at least the number one crowdfunding.
Yeah. So you're looking for about well, I guess almost $200,000, and is that about right or what? I mean, it 98 pounds or?
Yeah.
And so $150,000 or more, and so you said you couldn't get that from the bank, right?
We can't go and get that from the bank.
Yeah.
Not in today's economic climate.
Yeah.
And plus we're a small business, so they would probably start laughing even before we came.
And not because of the facial hair; it was just because.
And also, of course, another alternative would be external investors. But this is our project. This is our baby, and we want to hold.
That's why you're doing this. You design speakers for people telling you what to do, and this is what you think should be done. But more importantly, it sounds like you're giving people one of the best deals on a speaker ever if they support the project. I mean, it's like half price. If we wait till you manufacture, we're going to cost double the price.
Because I mean, we've cut out all the middlemen. It's just us producing the speaker and selling it directly to the end user. We're not in this to make money. Making money will come when hopefully the project is complete.
Right.
Because basically the money we're gathering here will go directly towards tooling of the different parts and the electronics and the speaker unit, and we'll be shipping them out.
So your supporters and those that will be the first on their block with one of these, the DB60s, will actually benefit by getting this thing almost half price than anybody else will get once you're in production. Now, I mean, that's one of the neatest things I think about Kickstarter. Besides getting something you're never going to see in the stores probably for a long time, and being one of the first on your block, to get one of these things and get it at 50% discount. And something that looks cool that people aren't even know what the heck is that on your wall? That's really neat. And they'll realize it's a speaker, not artwork. Well, you're just wonderful, Jacob, and I thank you for you and your design team there for putting this all together. Well, great work, Jacob, and what you're doing there and your team is just designing things like this. I think we in America have a lot to learn from, to appreciate, fine design like you guys are doing, and I'm sure you're going to encourage more people in the United States to start competing with you guys on all this design stuff that you're doing.
Get out there and go crowdfund.
Right, that's where the action is.
Wonderful way of doing business.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Pete.
Thank you.
Now isn't that cool? So you have a place to recharge your cell phone and have a great speaker. So you come in at night, put on your tunes, and you put that on that little wing on the speaker, and you're charging and listening to great music. Neat idea. You got great ideas too. We all do. But we got to do something. That's the difference about it. Those who do something and those who don't. So start doing something with your ideas. Okay, now here's someone that will prove you don't have to be a 25-year-old computer geek to get free money on the internet. You can be a 66-year-old, scientist to do this. An old school person. And this is a guy who actually built an heirloom chemistry set. Remember those things? I don't know, when I was a kid, we had all these chemistry sets we would buy, and, you put together these little chemicals and make smoke come up in the house and everything. Well, he's got a real Jim Dandy one that he put together. He had no idea how to use one of these fundraising sites, went on it, asked for like $30,000 because he didn't know what else to ask for. And in 7 days, he got over $54,000 in 7 days. And I asked him, how did you do it? What was your success? Why is it successful? He said, I have no idea. He had no idea. So, see, none of us know what we're doing. Even a fellow with that kind of expertise and experience behind him still doesn't know what they're doing. Nobody does. Yeah, everybody likes to think they do, but they really don't. But what he put together is a beautiful, almost work of art. In addition to having a chemistry set, to get young people involved in science. We have the STEM stuff now in the high schools and the elementary schools even, and everything, to get more scientists here, because we have to compete with people around the world like China who are grinding them out, a million of them a day or whatever, PhDs in chemistry. So here's how to get young people involved in that. It's a beautiful kit and a box. Actually, his dad was a carpenter and a cabinet maker, so he still has those skills too, and he developed this thing. And he has a shop in the middle of Missouri near St. Louis where he helps makers. I don't know if you know the maker community. These are young people and old people and everybody who are making stuff in life. And that's what we have to do. We have to be inventive again in this country and start making more stuff. And that's what this is all about. So watch how this old school guy made a bunch of money on the internet. Well, John Coons, man, the heirloom chemistry set on Kickstarter is kicking butt on Kickstarter. I mean, you've been there 7 days and you made $50,000. Man, now you can give your Social Security money back.
Right? Yeah, right.
That's amazing. Well, what made you think of using Kickstarter for this?
Well, I have a customer that comes in here that did a Kickstarter project about 2 years ago, maybe a little longer, 3 years ago, and it was for a rubber band shotgun kit.
A rubber band shotgun kit?
And yeah, you rack it and it holds up to 10 rubber bands, and you can single fire, rapid fire, or full automatic. And it's cut out of plywood with a laser cutter, and it's engraved, and he did a Kickstarter project on it, and his goal was to sell, I don't even know what his goal was, but he was selling the pledge was $39.95, and you got the complete kit, and he sold 50,000 of them.
50,000!
Do the math.
Wow!
Almost $2 million.
How much was that?
Almost $2 million.
$2 million for a little rubber band gun or something.
Shotgun, rubber band shotgun. And we sell them here in our store for you.
How old
But that's where I got the idea. What's that?
Is he an older guy or a young kid? Or
No, he's younger than I am.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I mean. What's so nice to meet you is that most people doing Kickstarter campaigns are like 25 years old or something like this, you know, and some little gadget, you know, that I can't even wondering how the hell it works or
No, that's where I learned about it.
Yeah.
And that had a lot of people because of the Make KC group, and all those guys are kind of attuned to that, and they talked to me about it, and I just kind of decided, well, maybe I should try it. And then, like I said, it took over 13 months.
Wow.
So,
well, now your heirloom chemistry set is like a kid's chemistry set that every kid wished they had growing up, and you're making a real authentic one that is gorgeous, because I just found out this chemistry set, you know, the wooden box that you make, because your dad was a cabinet maker, huh?
yes, and a furniture builder, right?
And a furnace, so you have that skill too. So you have this elegant, you know, case of a whole like chemistry room inside this little cabinet.
Exactly, right. And the idea is that it can be shut up and locked and stored.
Yeah.
It has handles so you can carry it, but it's very heavy when it's got everything in it.
I can't get over how, I mean, you know, in 7 days, I mean, you were hoping to get 30,000 in like 2 months or something like that.
Well, yeah, I ran it for 45 days. I probably should have only run it for 30, and that's why.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get too much money. You're going to have all this problems with the bank and, you know, getting the money, going to the bank. You know how much of trouble that is.
Right, exactly. So it's been interesting to watch it, to see what happens. And I get lots of comments.
What do you think is the reason why you were so successful so early in this campaign?
I have no clue. I have no idea. I have the prototype sitting here in my store. It's not in the room here, but I have it in the store, and people come in, and everybody looks at it, and nobody ever asks any questions about it. And I go over and I talk to them, and I tell them that this is going to be, we're going to do a Kickstarter project, and they've been hearing that from me for months. And it's all of a sudden people that like the mayor I mentioned to you, he saw the project, and he didn't even know, he doesn't pay attention to his email apparently, and he didn't know that the project had launched. And one of our mutual friends was talking to him today, and I told him, and he said, I was blown away. And I said, well, it's not like we were hiding it from you. But no, I have no idea why it's successful.
He's got to be mayor. But no, it's beautiful, and it's so elegant, and it looks so nice. And
are you looking at a picture of it right now?
Yeah, do you have one? Yeah.
No, I don't have one here, but if you're looking at a picture of it, you notice on the one side there's the door that has the engraving.
Yes, and the insert.
And that comes out. That just comes out. It's not hinged. And it slides underneath that shelf, and it makes an extension to the shelf.
A little platform.
Right, and then you see the dowel rod that goes across on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
That's held in place. It doesn't go through both sides, just through one side, and then halfway through the other. And then there's a steel rod that goes into a hole, and it comes with a magnet. And you hold the magnet up there, you pull the steel rod out, and you slide the dowel rod out of the way, and you can get to all of your glassware.
All the glass. I mean, you have all the glassware there. You must have 20 or 30 bottles of stuff. Whatever.
There's 66 bottles of chemicals.
66 bottles of chemicals.
And those drawers will hold 108.
And 108 bottles will hold?
Hold 108 bottles. I was going to see if I had one of my bottles here.
So you're going to take our whole country and get every kid to be a scientist again.
I'd love that. I'd love that. And one of the things we're doing too for the people who have pledged for the level to get the whole box and everything.
Right.
We're going to communicate with each one of them after the project's over. Find out how it's going to be used, because we manufacture over 650 different chemicals.
Wow.
Many of them are not suitable for kids. Okay, but so we'll talk to each one of them and find out what they're wanting to do with it, and we suggest substitutes.
So you could switch the chemicals and give them a different array so they could have what they need to blow up their own house or whatever they want to do.
The chemicals that come with it there's 64 chemicals plus a bottle of pure water and a bottle of alcohol fuel for the alcohol lamp. Those are bigger bottles.
Yeah.
But the little bottles, those are the same, actually the original 57 chemicals listed in the A.C. Gilbert chemistry manual unfortunately entitled Chemistry for Boys.
Now that's against the STEM stuff here.
I know, but they had these chemicals listed in there, and that's what my legacy chemical kit is. It's those chemicals plus 8 others that I think are necessary. But you could buy those original 56 chemicals from the A.C. Gilbert Company back in 1936 for $6.10.
All of them for
$6.10?
Wow. No, I mean, this is so cool. I mean, but also to encourage, scientists. I mean, our economy and everything, everybody wants to be an artist, and, science is still very important. And
well, I tell you what, art and science are like that. They're joined together. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I draw, I paint when I have time. And I do woodworking. If that's not an art, I don't know what is.
Right. Well, look at that cabinet. That's a piece of art that you've done with that cabinet alone. Yeah. No, I see nothing different. It's just that now, too, that's where our future seems to be in developing new ideas is really science-related kind of things, whether it's DNA or whatever. And we need to, we're not encouraging enough kids, it seems, to go into these subjects.
Well, it's sad, as we were talking earlier, science education in this country, I have a saying, my wife said, don't ever say that on television. But it's science education in this country is just not what it should be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, all the kids that come here from China to go to school, like 90% of them, I forget the data, have perfect SAT scores, I mean, this is what we have to compete with, and this is where the action is. And if we don't get it and we're slipping down the road or slipping down, the ladder in being innovative in this country, we used to be the leader and we're not anymore.
Well, we have a country where 40% of the people in this country believe in ghosts.
And the name of your store, your shop that has all this is HMS Beagle, and you had to teach this old guy who didn't realize that was the ship for the first real scientist, probably I guess can't be the first real scientist.
No, but he, Charles Darwin was a very important scientist.
Yeah, I mean this is right, and we're still fighting over that.
Yeah, but only in this country. You go to Europe or Canada, and they're not.
Right. Well, this is so terrific, and it's so good to have you, in our country doing this, and someone who's been around a little while to see the importance of science, and that we have to get our kids involved in this more. And you've made it so practical and easy and really beautiful, in this case you have, to have your own little chemical laboratory chemistry set. I mean, I remember the chemistry set. I didn't know what the hell it was, but I wish I did now and was more interested in that. So it's the heirloom chemistry set on Kickstarter. You already have $54,000 after like 7 days. Now you're going to show up all these young kids out there.
I don't know about that, but
and you got 40 more days to go, but you'll be actually in your store. The HMS-Beagle.com is probably the best place to always find out about the Kickstarter program or where it starts now, or even to find you after the Kickstarter is over. HMS-Beagle.com. Yeah, you, John, and your wife Carol have this. And how long's the store been open? How long's the store?
We opened in 2004.
Oh,
we just started our 10th year.
Oh, good for you! And you're helping young people do all this stuff, and even old people like us, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we had a science club meeting this morning for our K through 3rd graders. We have a kids science club with over 1,000 members.
Wow! Well, good for you. Well, you're single-handedly going to turn us into an innovative country again. Thank you so much, John. Thanks for being there.
I appreciate it.
Isn't he a delight? See, it's not only for 20-year-olds. You know, we all are learning new things all the time. So that's what you do. You start learning and you try, and that's what's so neat about the internet. It doesn't matter if you fail. It doesn't cost you anything. Yeah. I mean, like him, it cost him maybe a few dollars to do his video or something, and that was it. So get out and try this stuff, no matter what age you are. Hey, are you an artist? Or maybe you know somebody's an artist. Well, how'd you like to make $18,000 putting your designs, you know, any of your cartoons or anything, on a plate? So people sit down at dinner and they put the food on something that's cool that you've designed. Well, this is the next interview. This is why this guy is a designer, an artist, and he does these great cartoons you could see on the internet that he plays around with. And he does like one every day. And he said, why do I put this on a plate? And he figured that all out. Now, they're not even on the plates yet, but he got like $18,000 already on the internet to go and have that process made. So what he did is spend his time drawing, you know, and figuring out what's going to be on the plates. And it's a really cute little thing. It's really funny that he's going to get on there. And so he puts it on the internet and says, hey, would you like to have this on a plate? Isn't that sort of cool? And the crowd gave him 18,000 bucks, right? Now just think the other way, he'd have to go to some plate manufacturer and stuff like that and be turned down and by 100 times and maybe be lucky and find somebody or make 100 plates themselves. And then go to people's stores that sell plates and see if they buy them or not. And they probably won't because they don't think there's a market for this. But here, all he did was show the design on the internet. Didn't invest in the plates. Didn't invest in having his design put on the plates yet until the crowd gave him money. They said, yeah! And they threw $18,000 at him. We want that. See, that's the only way you're going to figure this out. That's the only way to figure out, hey, if the stuff is really there, if it's real, that people really want this, do I have a good product? Don't go spending gazillions of dollars, you know, and figuring that out. Even on plates, who would have thought there's a business in putting cartoons on plates? So watch this. Well, Don Moyer with a Calamity Ware dinner plate, right? Now you just like flying monkeys. Is that what it's about? But this is your hand-painted dinner plates you're making, right?
Yes. These are a drawing that I did in order to reproduce it on dinner plates.
Now, are you surprised that, I mean, what made you think, I mean, I don't know anything about, you know, flatware or dinnerware or underwear for that matter, but that you could go on the web and raise $18,000 or more for you to make your dinner plates?
It's a bit of a surprise. I like to draw. I like drawings that are funny. And last summer I started drawing traditional dinner plates, but adding a calamity. So, you know, robots and zombie poodles and so forth, monkeys. And people said, oh, that would be great if you do a plate someday. So I decided back in October to do a design for a real physical plate and have it fired in porcelain in the kilns. And I thought the Kickstarter would be a way to see if anybody wanted to join me. I wanted a plate. Maybe other people did too.
Well, I mean, Kickstarter, I think, particularly Kickstarter, you know, I think it's, you know, it's some gadgets that's going to hang my phone from the ceiling while I'm on my spinning class or whatever the heck it is. And this is like something grandma would buy, you know, but she wouldn't if she really saw the pictures.
Well, it depends on grandma.
Yeah,
but
sure,
yes,
sure.
a Kickstarter lets you do any project.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be high tech. A dinner plate seemed perfect.
Wow, that's amazing. So you made your goal, no problem. You got another week to go, right? And you're going to go, so it'll be out like right after Christmas sometime, January, February?
Well, we need to do some proofing in December, and then at the beginning of January, we'll be firing plates and packing them up. I'm sure everybody will get their plates in February. Well before Valentine's.
Valentine's Day. Well, that's good. Valentine's Day is a special day for us too. How is Kickstarter to you? I mean, how did you find that process?
Yeah, I was delighted with the process. I had sponsored a few Kickstarter projects and had a sort of a sense of how it works. But they give you excellent documentation on what they recommend and why they recommend it. Very, very thorough and complete. I was impressed. Follow their instructions and you can put a project together. And they recommend a video, and I made a 2-minute video to tell my story. That was a challenge to tell the story quickly.
Well, no, but it's a wonderful video. I really think it's because it shows you, and then people can buy you. Not only your face won't be in the plate, but your thought will be.
Well, it's a little bit about me, so it seemed appropriate. And anyway, Kickstarter does an excellent job of sort of steering you through their process. It would be hard to get lost.
Really, huh? So you could just follow instructions and you're there. And did you have, apprehension about doing it? Like, oh boy, if I fail, people are gonna say I'm a failure or whatever it is.
I think anybody who's honest is aware of the idea of failure. But the way to think about it is we're going to learn something from the failure. So I think some Kickstarter projects start and maybe only succeed on their second or third try. Because they learned about what doesn't work. I was lucky. Some things came together, and there are enough crazy people who would like to have flying monkeys on their plate that we succeeded. But we would have learned a lot either way.
Now, was it hard? I mean, was it overwhelming? Do you have to hire specialists and consultants to get the thing done on this thing?
I imagine you could, but I felt like this had to be just me. So I did the drawing. I found the plate porcelain manufacturer, not difficult to do. The video I did with my phone.
That's a phone video you did? No kidding. You just sit up on a stick and you stood there and did it?
Clamped the phone to the table so it wouldn't wiggle, and
wow.
So,
no kidding. People charge a lot of money for production companies to come in and do that.
I did have a friend, Jack, help me edit in some pictures on top of me talking. But it took him, I would say, one morning, 4 hours, and we were done. It wasn't worth more than that.
Right. Wow, you got $18,000 and a new career here doing plates with monkeys on them. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, would you ever do like a whole series of flatware, whatever you call it, or just plates for design?
There are at least 20 plate designs in my sketchbook, which people can see all my drawings on Flickr. But I'm thinking there might be an appetite out there for 6.
I see. This is from your research.
My shallow research. I'm thinking for sure we're going to do a second one, and I'm asking the sponsors to sort of vote, give me feedback on what calamity they would prefer next.
I see. So what for the next one? So in other words, people to get this current plate, you have to be in the Kickstarter thing before that ends to buy this. Otherwise, you'll be in the next shot, right?
Yes.
And because then the monkeys are gone. Then the next one will be zombies or somebody like that.
Exactly. Monkeys become a rare collectible.
I see. So when you get one of these things, you got a collector's item, forever. You don't even have to eat off of it. But they can be, you can use it as dinnerware.
They're dishwasher safe, food safe, microwave safe.
I see. Just not in the mind. Well, that's terrific, Don. I think the work you do is wonderful and fun. Anybody who could bring fun to my dinner table by way of a plate.
Too many plates have been too serious for too long.
I hate those serious plates. And we find you at calamityware.com, right?
Yes.
CALAMITYWARE.com, right?
Yes.
And your project's still on Kickstarter. People want to find that, right?
Yeah, we'll always have something at that site.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Don. Take care and keep painting. We need you. We need funny plates.
Thank you, Matthew.
so maybe you're not an artist. You know what I'm saying? But whatever your idea is, it's the same principle. You know, you have the idea, you develop it as much as you can just to show people. And that's why even his video that he did with his iPhone. He didn't have some big production company come in and do his video. No, he just used his iPhone and set it up there and videotaped himself talking about it. Because see, when you're looking at him, you're buying him. He's telling you a story. You know, he's telling you how important this is. And when you buy that from him, you're buying his story. You know, you're not just buying a plate. You see him and you're buying him. And that's why I see what people do and what the people want to do in this country now is be involved in something. When I used to sell my books on television, you know, and I'd be 1 minute on television. People never saw the books, but they'd buy millions of these things and never even, you know, saw the book. And that's what you can do now. And that's what crowdfunding sources, this free money on the internet allows you to do. And now you have to get off your butt, think of something, and put it together.